Committee meeting of February 17th, 2022. First agenda item is make sure we have a quorum. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 members present. So we have a quorum. So we're going to move on to our next agenda item, which is old business. First agenda item under old business is to accept the treasure chest committee meeting minutes of January 13th, 2022. I emailed these to you earlier and I provided them to you this evening, so take a peek and then we'll take a vote. I got to tell you, I'm really happy about doing these minutes every day or for every meeting, because if you didn't, they'd stack up and they'd never get done.
Oh, I know.
And you wouldn't capture the detail.
Thank you.
We're so grateful.
Yes, we are. Thank you.
Any of the committee members have any changes or comments to these meeting minutes? Need a little more time?
No?
Okay. Seeing none, can I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes of January 13th, 2022?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all's in favor?
Aye.
Great. Okay, next item under old business is, now that we've prepared the treasure chest operational plan / guidelines, now we need to prepare the presentation of that plan / guidelines to the selectmen, and Ellie has agreed to do that presentation on behalf of the committee, so
Great.
thank you very
Thank
much,
you,
Ellie.
Ellie.
I know.
Appreciate that.
I'll throw it before you. I'll let you know what it is so that you can add or subtract.
Oh, okay. You mean a copy of all of it?
Well, I thought tonight we could.
So, yeah, why don't you just chat, yeah.
Okay, because I did read, but some people haven't. So.
So do you want to speak to that, Ellie? or-
Ready? Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Should we go ahead with the first two things under new business? The sticker program? Do we have to do anything about that?
For the public, I would do it, just whatever.
No, I mean-
Oh.
Oh, that's the
Well,
next thing. I was
right.
wondering if we should discuss, before we got to the sticker program.
Okay, yeah.
Because that would be our second item.
Okay, yep.
I just wanted to, I see what you're saying, yep.
Yeah.
Nope, you're right. So, yeah, under old business, continued discussion of the sticker program for the Harwich residents to access the treasure chest facility. We were talking about that at our last meeting. We wanted to, I think the recommendation we wanted to make to the selectmen was we thought a fee of $5 should be charged for the
I was
sticker.
going to say, we talked about.
And that would be
fees.
the
Yeah.
recommendation. Other than that, where those stickers could be gotten, I still think
I
that
think
needs
that's
to be
still a big-
finalized.
Yeah,
I mean, but I think that's probably going to remain up in the air until we kind of hammer it out. And I would think that we would probably utilize the same places as we did before
Yeah.
for sticker distribution.
I only knew about, you could get it where you got a beach sticker up at the community center and Chamber of Commerce, right? Those are, because I got mine at the Chamber of Commerce. But
Yes.
I think you could,
And I just think that the only thing that I saw over the last few years, to make sure that someone, if we need one more place or something, that someone is open so that people could get it.
on a
Because I
weekend.
know that people come a whole truckload of stuff and they're like, nothing's open, and then they're like so disappointed,
oh,
so
that's awful.
And that's
just
true.
a thought.
And so, yeah, we need to find that weekend spot, so when the person shows up on Saturday with all their stuff, and we tell them they don't have a sticker, and he's like, where do I get it? It's like, where can he get it?
And they get so upset, so we
That
just don't want
Saturday or
that.
Sunday, you know, yeah,
Right.
and that's
Yeah.
where we get it. And they're like, come back next week. And they're like, no, I'm loaded, I'm ready to go.
I don't know if we could ever do it, but, you know, Ace Hardware used to sell like books for the town and they'd sell things for benefits. I don't know if we could, if the town would allow a private business, you know, like that to sell the stickers. Because you're right, we want someone with the hours that are open.
What do you think, Larry?
Yeah, we'd have to check into that. But of course, the Chamber of Commerce in the summers at least is open Saturdays and Sundays because the visitor center is open. So that's, they're certainly accessible.
They
I don't
close
know what
early.
time they
They
close.
close early, Larry.
In the summer even?
Yes, yeah. They close around 2, and we've still got people till 3, so it's,
Okay. We could check into if there's some other place to do it. But I do think you have to be firm, and if you want stickers, you have to require 'em.
Yes.
Would be
You know,
my
it would
only-
probably be good if we could have the stickers sold someplace that would be open at least as long as the treasure chest is open. So like if we're open till 3 or 3:30, at least if the Chamber of Commerce could sell them till 3 or 3:30. Because if we're closed at 3 and somebody's desperate for a sticker at 4, I mean, they're not getting into us anyway.
We'd have to check on the various locations. Good
Yeah.
idea.
Important.
So other than finding a place where stickers could be had on Saturdays and Sundays, I think we pretty much have hammered out what we need to do in discussions for the sticker program.
yep.
Okay.
All right, so I will move on to.
To new business and your discussion of the preparation for presentation of the operational plan for
Right.
the selectmen.
So I met with Larry since we last met, and he was able to guide me through a lot of details. So I think for that evening, we're hoping to be on the agenda for the Board of Selectmen meeting, that when our time comes up, I would introduce the committee to the board and any public that are there. And I'd tell them all your names. Is that okay? You want?
Yeah.
If I mention your name. I think I'd also say that I'm fairly new on the committee. I'm new on the committee and fairly new as a volunteer in comparison to some other people. But I've gotten a good idea of how things run. So I feel capable of going forward. I would ask them for this opportunity to, we're coming before them so that we can have an opportunity to ask them to reopen, pointing out that we're clearly different from the thrift shops and the second glance. We're an opportunity for people to leave and take things without cost. I would also acknowledge that the board has indicated some ideas for us. One would be that the committee meets more often, and we have begun that process of meeting monthly, and will continue, hopefully, to meet as often as we can. We've filled all the spaces on the committee. I think there were spaces that hadn't been filled, so now the committee is fully, do you say staffed or fully appointed? All the positions on the committee.
Maybe
are
fully
filled.
Oh, yeah,
appointed.
the chair, the clerk,
Fully
the
appointed sounds
Fully
nice.
Vice chair.
appointed?
Yeah.
I think that
Okay.
sounds nice.
And then, as we work as a committee, maybe getting ideas of specific roles for the different committee members to make the operation run smoothly. They're going to be given a packet of documents, Larry, I believe?
Yeah, you guys have given me all the documents. I'm going to put that in the packet
Right.
for the meeting, so they'll have all that there.
So you'll take care of that?
I will.
Awesome.
I have the, you guys have already sent me all the packets, and I think we included them. I'm going to resend those,
Right.
the packets, so that will be available to the selectmen and actually anyone that wants to get it online, right? Because so we don't have, and that's a good point, because we don't have to repeat everything from the packet, the high points.
Right. the packet will contain, Larry had some good ideas of past minutes from meetings, or everything that's been approved.
Our
Yeah,
new
that-
guidelines?
Yeah. The reason Eileen and I had a good discussion, the reason I was pushing that is what I really, one of the things I want to be very clear about at the presentation is a point that you've mentioned already. We have a full committee, we have one alternate, but I'd say full committee. Been meeting, we've had, I don't know how many meetings already, 6 maybe? Been a very active committee. It's, we're following all the, committee's following the rules. We have agendas, we have minutes. Because some of the criticisms that have come up in general, our committees don't function in a proper, is that the right term? I'll use the word proper in terms of agendas, discussion, minutes that are published so people know what's going on. So I really, what your lead-in that you mentioned is perfect, right? A key point to this discussion will be to tell people, the board specifically, and those that we have a very, we have a full and active committee that's considering everything going on. Because that's been some criticism in the past is, generally speaking, not always to this committee, but committees don't really do their job. But you are, and that's a big point.
Yeah.
And so it seems trivial to say that,
But, no, but it's
Yeah. No, I
gonna
think
help.
we
It
do
helps.
have an excellent committee. We, as far as committee goes, we know what our charge is. We've been asked to provide the operational plan guidelines. We've done that. We've, I think, painstakingly gone over how we got to where we got, so somebody could look at it and say, well, how did this evolve? How did they get to this operational plan? I think we were very descriptive. And that's important because like what Larry says, this is all in the public. All of this needs to be posted. The agendas, then the minutes, once they're approved, need to be submitted to the town. It's the process, but we are following the process.
And I think, as you've mentioned, meeting monthly shows you're paying attention as well.
Right.
Rather than quarterly or something, that you're really keeping track of what's going on, the volunteers. So it's the message that you're giving is all really positive. So you don't have to beat them with it, but you have to make
No,
some.
I don't want to beat them.
I think they can see it for themselves.
Yeah.
It should be self-evident.
Because they'll have before them, in the packet of documents, things that have been approved. And so I don't feel we have a need to do a PowerPoint on that. That'll be before them.
Right.
But the 2 items that we will be asked to put on slides or projected will be the new guidelines and the etiquette.
Thing I think we want to clarify too, and I was sitting here trying to think of the items. There are things and opportunities the treasure chest has that the family pantry does not have and that thrift shops do not have, and even that the rehab on White's Path. So I think if we're clear, maybe some of us could talk about the differences, because I know like the family pantry doesn't take toys. There's certain things I know that, we've had an opportunity to take. I'm trying to think of some of the items that they wouldn't take.
Is that something we have to,
I was talking to Caleb before the meeting, actually, exactly that point, because one of the comments was made. We don't need the treasure chest because we have the family pantry, we have the church groups. But in my mind, and I think it's a truism that those groups take items for resale.
Correct.
Family pantry takes things that may not be sellable but are very usable.
Right.
And that's a very critical distinction, because I have enough stuff like that I'm not sure people will want to pay for, but people want them, because I take them to the treasure chest and out of my pickup before I get to the, people grab them right away. But so I think, Maureen, that's a critical point.
I just think if we're clear, and you made a good point, because I was thinking, I got a carriage there once, and I thought it was super, but it wasn't like brand new, like they would sell at a thrift shop, if they were going to sell it. So I just think
So
that
we're not
maybe-
competing with those people.
No.
We're
Right.
a different reason. And, we're helping people that maybe don't have the money to spend. There's that too, but just on the top of it, we're doing things that they aren't.
Right,
And that's a great point to make, I think.
yeah.
Folks can pick up food at the pantry and put clothes on the back of the treasure chest. I mean, what more could you ask for,
Yeah,
you know?
So as a committee, do you think that's something we should expand upon in this presentation, or,
I think it's important to mention it, though.
yeah.
Yes, and to have examples of some of the things, in other words, how the treasure chest works versus, items that people can leave at the treasure chest and they can't leave at, the thrift shops and the family pantry, and the opportunity the treasure chest gives to people.
Right,
And also thrift shops, I think probably most people who come could afford thrift shop prices, but it still costs money, and if you're really tight for money, and we're hearing now with inflation, all the more reason that the family pantry should give people an opportunity for what they need.
And the treasure chest is, when I think about that, and like you say, with inflation and what things are costing, it's that much
Reality.
harder for folks to make ends meet. And, that much greater the necessity for, an outlet like the treasure chest for, the citizens to be able to take advantage of.
I'll just give an example. I don't know how I came across it, because frankly, I wish I had gone more often to the treasure chest. But I happened to see outside, and it's a rectangular, it's almost like a barrel, and you can put your foot on the bottom for the flip to go up. I keep it on my deck, and I use it for my recyclables. I don't know what it would cost new. It's really beautiful. It was in great condition. Now, no thrift shop would take that,
Right.
and the family pantry wouldn't take that. That would have gotten the heave-ho someplace.
landfill.
And I'll tell you, I cherish it. I don't know. It looks to me like if you bought it in a hardware store, it probably would cost like $60. I'm not sure. But I'll tell you, the thing's rugged. And, they're just examples that people can use, and that costs money if you're trying to outfit an apartment, or, I just think, I'm just trying to think of how we can share with selectmen that we're unique compared to some others.
Well, if I can add in, it really goes down to recycling and saving the things from going into the dump. We've talked about that from the beginning. We're trying to pick the little things, but we're there to recycle so people can get things, and that we're keeping it out of the dump system. So,
Yeah.
we're really.
But I guess, Ellie, you could
Yeah,
let
we
us
don't
know,
need to-
because Heather and Ben and some of you know a lot better than I.
You would feel comfortable speaking.
To add to
Yeah.
something? Sure.
Okay.
But I wouldn't be up there with you.
Although,
But
one thing I'll say, and, Ellie will give her presentation. You will have a few things to say perhaps, and that's fine. We need to be respectful of the selectmen's time and their agenda and our place. That meeting is going to be, okay, here's our operational plan, here's a packet, this is who we are, this is what we've been doing. Very happy to get the selectmen's, comments and, any changes they might see, any recommendations. But then they'll take that away and I guess make some sort of determination at a, upcoming meeting.
Yeah.
So I don't really
This is
want-
Step one of two steps.
Yeah, so us getting up and saying, oh, we really support this and the town should support this, being committee members, I'm thinking those selectmen know that, we're very supportive of the mission, or else we wouldn't be here in the first place.
Right.
So,
less is better. I hear what you're
I think sometimes less is better. It seems a little more professional. And, we'll be there at their next meeting when they make their determination as well. But I think we go into it being professional, providing that presentation, providing the packet, respecting their time and
I think
thanking
that's
them
good.
for the opportunity.
Yes.
And I think, I'll talk to you, Ellie, but I think just to give you some examples to throw
Sure.
out.
Yeah.
That would be great.
That's enough.
But I didn't want to have this long, because they know. And I'm thinking if I was sitting back here, I'm like, yeah, I've got about 10 other things I got to get to here, and that's just the fact of the matter. So, and I think they'll appreciate it if we understand and appreciate and respect their time.
I agree.
Also, they asked us last time, Eric, when we were there, they said, do you guys, does anyone else, or they asked
Oh, and I
us the
know.
questions,
Yeah.
like the questions that you just talked about,
Yeah.
they asked them to us.
Yeah.
So I think we'll just have to, once you get your thing, they're gonna be asking us, and then,
But just
yeah,
be mindful, even when they do that,
their time.
their time is precious.
Yeah.
So to that end, I don't know if we have to go over each item under the new guidelines or,
You know, I think when you have that slide up there, you can touch upon some. You don't have to touch upon every one. They'll see them. You know, if they see one they might take particular interest to, and they might ask a question, I
Okay.
mean,
yeah, that's.
you'll
fine.
understand how we, you know, why they're there and why they're important.
So, I don't know if you have a copy of the guidelines in front of you, probably don't, but.
I don't, but if you want to go through some.
I brought
We
mine.
should adjust the treasure chest committee will meet at least 4 times a year or more.
Well, we're going to meet
Monthly.
monthly, because I think we say that we would meet more if need be, and it sounds, I mean, Larry had an excellent suggestion saying, you know, let's meet monthly when we start up, because we want to be able to address any issues, you know, quickly.
Right.
I think
You know,
meeting
and-
monthly, every month is a good thing anyways, because if anything comes up, then at least once a month, we're all here to discuss it.
That's right.
So do you want to commit that to print?
I committed to print that, you know, we would meet monthly, for sure,
Okay, so can you change that then on that document?
on the guidelines.
Yeah,
They've been submitted. I think Larry made the suggestion afterwards, so I guess we could update that or say, you know, we would do that. So maybe in the final, because what we've provided, I think, is a final draft.
Yeah, I don't think we need to do that. I think we can do that in the presentation.
Yeah.
We decided to meet monthly.
so what they will see on the screen and what they have before them is
On the
4
screen,
4 months.
On the screen, I can change, you know, on the PowerPoint,
Yeah,
and say, you decided to meet monthly.
okay,
Yeah.
that would be great, yeah.
Because let's face it, even if it's on paper, we meet monthly, committees sometimes cancel meeting.
Yeah,
Right.
we can cancel.
Right, right.
So it's not, they're not gonna lock you up if you miss a month.
Right, right.
No, but I thought that was an excellent suggestion, you know, and it just goes to show the dedication and the commitment of the committee
Absolutely.
to make this happen. So, you know,
And the-
whatever we can do.
I don't know if we need to put it there, but we respect all, the Board of Health for all guidelines on COVID.
Mhm.
Do not commit that.
You know,
to-
I'm not sure how much time we need to spend on that, quite frankly,
Mhm.
because the Board of Health is in charge of that. If it comes up as a question, but it's all, basically it's all of our preview, out of your committee's preview, what you're gonna do for the Board of Health. So I would probably I'd probably want you to make that part of the
Wouldn't even put it
discussion.
in, okay.
So we're-
Because, you know, they tell us and we do it, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of the way the world works right now.
Yeah.
And we were saying if the selectmen have questions, I hope other people, I'm the newest one, you know, I hope everybody else would answer questions.
Well, you were there at that time, so when you pretty much saw what was going on, so
Yeah,
that's, yeah.
But
She
I
was
mean,
there
I
at
don't
the-
want it only to be me, you know, if they ask,
Oh,
'cause-
right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and I would agree, if Eileen's making, if you're making the presentation, if a question comes up, you know, you can ask someone else to answer it.
Right, and we talked, yeah, Larry and I talked about that, that
yeah,
I
'cause
can.
you know a lot, Heather, and you know.
Right,
All of us
And-
did.
But I, you know, and that's, but I think you should be the point person.
Yeah.
And then if there are questions that they have that you would, you know, like to have some clarification or discussion before answering, we can do that.
and if
Um,
we can't do it on the spot, we can get back to them.
Yep.
That's- That was the other tool you gave me.
And I do agree that, you know, you have a lot of documentation. I tried to pick out some dot points on that to highlight, but you don't need to highlight all those. You can, because it's in their packet,
I know it, yeah.
so they can read it. It's more
You
to
wanna go
guide some
through
of
it?
the audience that don't read it, that don't have the chance to read it. And I also agree with Eric. You don't want to get carried away with, you know, the truth is, I don't think we have to sell it, how important it is. People already know that.
So,
The issue is are we going to manage it correctly?
I think that's the whole thing, is how we're gonna do this, and
Yeah.
how we're gonna,
You know, so I would make those brief points, but I don't know if I'd spend a lot of time, you know,
Defending that,
defending that.
yeah.
Because look at all the selectmen, we've got a ton of letters, people supporting it. Look how popular it was before. So I'm not sure that,
So our-
you know, mention it, but I wouldn't give a big dialogue
Our
on it.
job really is to prove to them that we know, we're gonna know how to manage it.
Exactly.
And by,
That's it.
and so one of the things is.
They can have confidence in this committee that we're going to take charge and make sure
Like
that
never
things don't run
before.
amok.
That's all right,
Yeah.
that's, right?
Help you if
Yes.
we talked about, like, if you picked 4 bullets now or whatever? I don't know. Would you like us to talk about
Of these?
what bullet points you'd want,
No,
or how many you want?
Well, they're
no.
gonna be up there, and I think that, you know, she doesn't have to speak to every one,
Yeah,
you know, but, you know, go ahead, Larry.
I was gonna say, well, Maureen, you're just asking, if you have in front of you, does the committee already have some points you think are more important than others?
I read it, but I didn't see all of it to go over with
want me to
anybody.
read them through quickly?
Yeah,
Okay.
Go for it.
Donations will be accepted between 9 and 3.
Standard.
Sunday. They accept most items that are in good condition. Both gates shall remain open during hours of operation.
Mhm.
No items shall be placed in the exit lane. Each shift will have an inside and an outside shift leader. Shift leaders will ensure that the volunteers, that there's a volunteer at the entrance gate checking stickers.
I think those two things are important, that you have shift supervisors
Okay,
who, inside and outside, who, you know, watch over and make sure that, you know, the volunteers are acting in the manner that there should be, and that we have somebody at the gate checking stickers to make sure only Harwich residents or those with stickers are entering the facility.
this is big.
you all agree?
Yeah.
Yes,
those are-
yes, it's big.
Those are
Okay.
big.
Those are really big, because
Yeah.
we're doing this a little bit different. I just want to add this in. There's just not one person, but every shift leader is, make sure that that shift is going to run smoothly. If there's any issues, we're going to deal with it right then.
And
I
it's,
think that's gonna
and it's
save-
interesting because, you know, I've raised this with Ellie and Bim, so, you know, who are the shift leaders? Who do they report to? You know, it's like, who is in charge? That's Bim,
That's right.
yeah. So, and I checked with Bim, I'm like, Bim, so the shift supervisors are coming to you.
That's right.
You know, are you good? And I go, that has been, you know, when I was running it, it came to me. You know, when it was Janet, it came to Janet. You know, when it was Tom, it went to Tom.
That's right.
That's kind of how the structure is. So I was like, Bim, are you okay with that structure? And yes, she is. So the structure hasn't changed. The buck stops with the chair.
That's right.
So, and I think that might be a point where, you know, they might say, well, who does those shift leaders, you know,
That's
report
right.
to?
But also, BIM can also, since Larry, we've never had a selectman that came to every single meeting. This is totally brand new. And that BIM can always talk with, I would hope, with Larry if there was an issue that came up. Is that a possibility that, yeah, see, this is totally,
It's great.
that really, really makes a huge difference for us.
Not only that, look where we're meeting.
That's right,
You know, look how we're meeting.
right,
I mean, this is just a well-run committee now,
that's right.
you know, and
Before, there was like, it would go to Link, it would go to this person, that person, but now we've got a sound committee that it's gonna go to BIM, and BIM has a backup.
with
and-
structure,
Yeah, structured, yep.
so.
Very
Okay.
proud of you guys, thank you.
And the next one is about being respectful.
You know, I think that's always important.
Yeah, I mean, there are things that, you know, that I don't think we have to, that are logical, the link.
Yeah.
Patrons will have first option to take items, parking, you know, we're, us volunteers park, coming from midweek cleanup, what to do if you can't come. Be discretion, use discretion when, in taking items. No smoking, no dogs. I mean, those are.
Yeah.
run of
Do
the
you guys
mill.
really want to put all that up there?
Well, those are the guidelines,
before
but I
that.
mean, the ones that, you know,
Really? Because I wouldn't even do all that. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't
I'm
know.
comfortable with pulling out, that's a lot, I'm comfortable, for me, if you want to pull out one, you go.
Me too, just like,
The
I
two
think
that we
the,
just mentioned.
For
Yeah.
instance,
Yeah.
the hours from 8 to 3, I don't think you need that.
No.
in the
No,
presentation,
no.
So,
No,
I put some, I scratch all those out that you feel.
Right. yeah.
I think the high points, and I don't mean to, bring this up again, is how we're gonna operate. Not the little details, but how this committee is gonna operate and stay structured like it has been.
So would they have a hard copy in front of them, or we're gonna email the selectmen a
It's part of
copy?
the
How are we gonna do it?
I'm going to include in the packet,
They will have a hard copy.
So they'll have a hard copy,
Yeah.
yeah.
well, they won't have a hard copy, but they'll have it on their computer.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But then we also want to project it on the?
We do.
Yes.
Any public?
That way the folks who are
Yeah.
watching this can
Yeah.
see it.
Right.
It'll show up on the YouTube afterwards as well.
Yeah.
if you want it, so.
On your local access station.
So, Ellie, I would scratch out all but the most important ones, and I'll redo that slide for you.
Okay. That'd be great.
Okay.
Right, so, I mean.
But I think that would be
feel
it,
ready
hitting
to-
the highlights, having them, ask them if there's any questions or comments or recommendations, thanking them for the opportunity to serve, and their
What were the
time.
problems before? I mean, what were the,
The
I
basic,
mean, I know it got closed down because of COVID, but I know there were problems in previous years down there.
There
because
was
I've been
traffic
going.
issues.
Traffic
which
issues.
was really gone once,
A lot of the issues when
Been solved.
when it went to Harwich only,
Have gone away, right?
With the
they
stickers.
resolved themselves.
yeah,
That's a,
really big time.
when that comes up, but I was thinking about this. That's also important to make, though. The year, I don't know what it is, 1 year, 2 year before we closed down with COVID, the problems that people are still talking about have actually been solved.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was working very well. So this,
That's why
just don't-
I'm even
we don't-
asking, because
we don't
it
have to
seems
be,
like,
because I wouldn't want to get into discussion, beating yourself up and say it didn't run right. Well, actually, with the plans and all this stuff doing, so it's a good question, because it may come up, and you say, okay, we had traffic, we had
Wasn't
one
true.
day where police came up when we went to Harwich only with a sticker problem.
That was a tough, yeah.
And, we had, but, unless asked, I wouldn't talk about that in this,
Right.
brought
She would
up.
just be, she just
I was
wants to
just
know.
being
Yeah,
curious,
yeah.
like,
No, I'm glad
were
you
the-
asked the question, because it's likely to come up. The traffic may come up, that the fear that will block Lower County
And,
or Queen Anne,
and
But
we
I think,
talked with
Larry,
the-
you talked to police or
No, I
whatever.
did.
You
And
did.
we only had two, not even two incidences, in 2 years. So one time they're like, and it was nothing. It was not even anything to do,
It was,
just,
it was basically
so-
the single day when they transferred to the idea that you had to be Harwich residents,
that was it.
Yeah.
So we don't have any
I got
problem with
Gotten
that.
over that hump.
and now we're over that.
Once, Tom was in and, we structured a little bit differently and we went to Howard only, things really calmed down.
I think it would be good, I think it would be nice if someone knew, like, 3 years ago, we went to Harwich only, or 4 years ago, we went to Harwich only, and that, in other words, that they know it's that time in history, that it was, and we only had 2 incidences, because people like to get, I've heard people expound that you would think it was a whole different picture than the reality.
Well, I think the operational guidelines
Tell us.
speak to when it went Harwich only.
We have that in the packet. what
It
that
is.
date
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
So it's already there. And since then, that
I don't have that in
took
front of
care
me.
of-
Good that we all have
most of
that
the
on the tip
issues.
of our tongues and know that.
It's 2018, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
So now, for now, that's 4 years ago.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
Time
and people are
flies.
still bringing it, yeah.
it does, it does.
People have long memories. I was just with a group
You're
of
right.
people that, I said I was coming to this meeting, and this, one woman said, oh, I remember going there and taking a comforter and shams out of my car, and a volunteer just came right in and took them away. And, so that's a memory people have.
Yeah, oh, I know.
They're still glad to come back, but they're a little miffed,
And we'll try to change that mindset, it's hard to change people's first perceptions, but we can do the best we can,
that's,
so.
See, I think it's wonderful that someone wanted it and was anxious to have it, because my goal is to recycle. So I think it's wonderful that people get excited and want to use it. But I know that everyone doesn't feel that way.
Well, have you
Some
been
want to
there?
control how it's recycled.
She's
Have you
there.
ever been there when a truck pulls in loaded with something and see the people?
I have.
Okay.
Yeah, they take it immediately.
Not a lot, but I have a
But
few
hopefully
times.
we'll figure that out too, that,
My
we'll
my
have,
only final side of all this, with their suggestions, I'm really comfortable with knocking as many points as you want, because they'll have this material in the packet, and you can ask questions. And what I'll do is, to finish that thought, if you give me any corrections on the PowerPoint,
okay.
I'll change those, and I'll send them to you. And I've asked for you guys to be on the Selectmen's meeting for the 28th
of February?
Calendar.
of February.
Okay, good.
For us to be on there for the 20th?
Yeah, we'll be there.
Because our next meeting's the 22nd, which is kind of late. We have to be so I promised I would get the packet to them. I'm
Okay.
hoping
Great.
by Friday because it won't take long. If you give me some ideas on the PowerPoint, I can do that right away.
That's great.
And we can get all the material in.
And isn't our goal to open like maybe April or May?
The 28th?
Yes.
One step at a time, yes,
It'd be
but,
when they make a decision. I don't know yet. I would hope they bring it back to the next meeting. My reason I'm hedging is we're getting into budget times and warrant articles. And so it kind of depends. If we have a whole meeting on warrant articles, it's going to be reluctant to add this to it. So I would assume 1 or 2 weeks after we'll put that on. But Elliot, that's a good point. I think you should in your presentation suggest when you would want to start, because that will drive what your discussion is the next meeting to decide. So is the goal to start May 1st?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's
Or
great.
sooner, I mean, May
I
1st,
don't think we'll be
okay.
ready sooner.
Okay, yeah, right, because
Be
we have to
honest
get
with
the
you, it's at
products
the
in
end
and
of
everything.
February
Right,
already.
Right,
But
right.
that
You're
still
right.
drives, time flies. May
That's
1st
right,
still
you're
means
right.
we have to get March,
Yeah,
in a
because we
couple-
have to also get everything
in the
in there.
next couple of weeks,
yeah.
That's what I mean, then we're into March and you're away for the month
Yeah,
of March.
well, yeah, a few weeks, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
so,
But that will help answer your
you're right.
question about when the next meeting is. We give them an
Because we're going to
endpoint.
get set up and everything, right?
yeah,
Are we willing to commit to that May 1st?
Yeah,
Yes.
let's
Yeah,
commit
that's
to it.
great.
Okay,
I have it written down.
thank you.
So I'll tell you what, I think we have,
I think we're all set.
I think we're
Yeah,
good there.
I'll-
great
Thank you.
discussion.
thank you.
Thank you very much, Larry. Okay, next item would be an update from Maureen on obtaining a booth or shelter for Treasure Chest volunteers checking stickers at the entrance gate.
You built this yourself, right?
Oh, yeah, yes. Didn't I do a great job?
You did. I'm so
Thought they
happy
were-
you
thought
found
they
it,
were
thank you.
Beautiful. Well, I want to say I started at the suggestion of, I think it was Larry, and then I did call Link, and I called Glenn Olson at the tech school and talked about, he talked about what he could do with for us, and we talked about cost. And I think he was doing a shed, I think, for Habitat for Humanity or a group. And he was talking about larger than we were thinking, 8 by 10. But we talked about price, and then I called Link, and Link said, gee, I think that our maintenance department can do something a lot better than that. So he came over and met with me and introduced me to Sean Libby, who's the faculty's maintenance manager for the town, and he was terrific. He had great ideas, and he showed me the 2 sheds that they use for, I believe it's lifeguards, and or at the entrance to a beach, but I think it was lifeguards. And he said that we could choose either one, and that he could do that for a very reasonable cost. And then I did ask him, like if you were checking in people, I said it would be nice if you could see who's coming. In other words, and not just have the front. So he talked about that they could put, I don't know if it's plastic, but like maybe a window and maybe something in the back, and there'd be a door. So I did show you all the choices, and I think everyone liked one choice better than the other.
Yeah, the
But they
pink
looked
roof.
well made, and he had a couple already there. I think they can whip those up in no time. We'd have no trouble.
It would be nice to get a ballpark of what it might cost.
Did he give you that by
Was
any
it
chance?
500,
think-
1,000?
Yeah, I hate to give a price because if I'm wrong.
No, that's fine.
I don't think it was very much. I hate to be too low, but I want to say, probably wrong, but around 300, 400, it wasn't bad. Because it was a lot more than that with the wood for the tech school. But it seemed very
That's
reasonable.
really low.
I don't know, if
but-
at
yeah,
that
let's
price, I
find
think
out.
we can just pass the hat and get it
Yeah,
taken care of.
yeah.
Well, then I'm wrong. That's why I said,
Yeah.
I had notes and I can't find it.
No,
That's
that's
okay.
fine, but it would be good to get that
So I'm
figure,
sorry
because
to
it
say.
sounds-
I think he told me
Infinitely
he
doable.
wasn't, told me he was not sure, because the tech school, we were talking around 3,000. That was 8 by 10.
Yeah, we only need a
So,
little. Yeah, it's a
Sean
shed,
kept
we
saying,
only-
that it would be very reasonable, but I didn't hold him to anything.
Well, they might even have materials, so we don't know, but maybe you
That's
could
what
find it out.
everyone said,
Yeah.
like, we'll look and see what's around and that kind of
Yeah,
thing, so I'm not sure, but you know what, I will, I'll talk to Sean and see
That'd
if
be
I can
great.
get a price,
Yeah, if we
a
could even
guesstimate.
get that before Ellie, so that we would have an idea
Yeah,
that, you know.
I will.
Is
I'll
that
call him
something-
back.
Yeah.
And maybe if I read my notes more carefully, but I think he didn't commit to a price.
Yeah, it puts you on the spot anyway to do this,
Well,
so.
no, that's okay, but he just kept, he said like, gee, because they had those, they've already built the lifeguard stands or whatever those are. And he said, very reasonable and that kind of thing,
They
but I
might
don't,
even have one. I don't know if he told you that, but I don't know, maybe.
It might, yeah.
I don't know. He had the two standing and I don't know if they were, I think they were made for someone. But I will get back to you all with the price.
Yeah, no, and I'm really pleased that you have taken it upon yourself to,
Well,
for this task.
No, I really appreciate it too, because
Yeah.
I
I'm
had-
out there in January, February.
We've all
Stan-
been out there
We all
freezing.
have been out
Yeah,
there, not just
we've
me.
been there.
Everybody's been out there in the winter or raining.
I'll tell you the truth, it was fun. I never knew where it was and I enjoyed it. So, and these were great fellows, more than willing to help us.
Nice,
So it was
wonderful.
wonderful.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. Why didn't we do this sooner?
That's the beauty of this town. A lot of people will want to,
Yeah,
lean
no,
in,
they-
pitch in, help,
That's right,
Yeah.
that's,
you
I'm
know,
impressed.
make it a better place, so
Yeah, we do
gotta
get a
love
lot
it.
And see, I think two of them, people said like, we'll see what we have around, that kind of thing, so I'll find out. I don't know what all that means, what we have around, it's reasonable and this and that. And then I guess we have to decide, you could let me know, because they gave a choice. I was the one who asked about a window. I like to see everything. So I felt that if you were in the little shed and you only can look out the front door, you might want to be able to see the cars
Yeah.
coming. So I said, could we put a window or a piece of plexiglass or something in the back of it? So I guess.
We could, and they get windows at the transfer station.
We get
actually
windows.
get windows, a lot
And
of
doors.
Yeah,
All the time.
so there's a lot we can do once, but yeah, maybe they have.
So I think I'd say
material.
yes, because if I were checking stickers, I'd want that. And,
Yeah.
and then we talked about, how you'd get air, maybe,
No, we have windows all the way around. I would have them very similar to the dump one, except ours would be littler, you know what I mean? But just so you can see
So
everything that's
windows all
going
the way,
around,
okay.
just,
Yeah.
I mean,
No, the more we can see, the better.
that's right.
So
No.
if you want air, though, you'd want windows maybe that opened, or a couple
Well,
that
one, you
opened.
have to have one that's open
And the
to,
door would open.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
door, yeah.
Others could be
Yeah.
plexiglass.
Okay,
I mean,
Right.
they could be.
You often don't spend time in it either.
Right.
We're often just sitting in front
Yeah.
of, sitting in
right,
front of.
okay,
it's really for rainy, snowy.
Yeah.
To get out of the elements.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll try to get us a price.
Absolutely
Okay.
super.
I'm excited.
Okay, our final item is we need to schedule a walkthrough of the facility. One thought I had is if the selectmen meet that Monday, the 28th, perhaps we could do a walkthrough before the selectmen's meeting.
Okay. It's a
You
good
know,
idea,
we're-
so that we have, if we have any ideas.
I was
When
thinking
is
if the
this?
meeting, selectmen's meeting is probably 6,
6:30?
6:30.
6:30.
Okay.
Maybe we do a walkthrough around 4?
Do we have to post?
Well, you don't think we should do it beforehand, because if we had anything to talk about, we'd have time, exactly, we'd want to have time to talk about it instead
Process.
of
Well, you're
just.
right, we do have to post,
Right.
because we'd actually all be together, so that's something, okay, that's a good point. And again, you want to do it earlier than that?
I think so, because if we have anything to talk about before that meeting, we'd have it written down or something, I mean, it just,
Okay, he's off Cape a lot, so we want to make it,
well, when you're
And you're
here.
gonna be gone too. When are you
I'm
going?
leaving March 9th.
March
Okay.
9th.
So if you want to do it earlier,
Well, she wants to do it before the 28th, of
Yeah.
February, anyway.
so Friday the
Um,
25th?
Friday the 25th?
It's up to you, Eric, because really, we're here.
Can you do Friday the 25th?
I can.
I can.
Other folks,
I'm not sure,
but
but you don't need all
I
of
guess
us,
we could
do you?
check with Link and make sure that the locks and stuff haven't changed. And I can post a meeting that we're going to do, that we're going to meet so we can do a walkthrough. But then we could all be together.
We'll do it
I would
early.
need to post that, I believe, Larry.
Do you?
Yeah.
Does it have to be?
Because we're not really we're just walking. okay.
Friday's probably
I see
better
your
for you,
face.
Eric, right?
Together, anytime we're together.
You have to, oh,
Yeah.
Anytime
Jumping
we
the
have
gun?
more than a group of 4
okay.
or more.
I didn't know that.
I think you can get away without, if you're just touring a facility and you're not deliberating, you would not need to post. So if you're just clear on that, you'd be okay.
Okay. We wouldn't be deliberating, so,
When are we
I
going
won't
to deliberate
post.
then? I mean, you just said we. may
Could we
wanna-
deliberate?
Yeah, what are we meeting
before-
for if we're not going to talk about it?
Well, it's your decision. You can post it and then have a meeting where you cannot post it and say you're not going to deliberate. Just going to take a tour. I mean, it's not that big a deal to post it either.
Yeah, I'd
Right.
rather,
Do it right,
you
whatever.
want me to
we-
post?
yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to do it right, so we can talk about it.
yeah.
So we're talking about February 25th at what time?
Is the end of the day better for you, Eric?
They like to close the dump, though, that's my only,
Yeah, but we don't need the dump to be open
okay.
to get
I
there.
just don't
'cause we
want,
have
I just
keys.
want it to be light enough, that's all.
Could we do it like at 4?
That was when I was
Thinking.
planning, but we could even do it early if you wanted at 3 or,
I mean, that,
That's
whatever
fine.
is fine with me.
3
I
or 4
just,
sounds
I'd kind of like to be done by, 5, quarter
Yeah,
to 5.
and then
4 to 5,
The
you
same
know,
as
it
I
won't even,
I say
you know.
4 o'clock, it's
Okay.
fine.
let's do 4 o'clock.
That sounds good to me.
Friday,
February 25th?
Yep,
Feb
4 o'clock.
25, 4 o'clock.
So we can, we'll pull into the dump, into the
Yeah, I'll-
and then to make a right
I
and go up
have
the hill.
I should have the key to get, and we'll just go in the exit. You know, we usually open it up when, before it's open, usually the exit is the only entrance open
Right,
before we open. So, I should have my key, I should be able to open it up
you'll
at
swing
4.
open the gate?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
As long as the
Sounds
key's the
fine.
same.
And I should have keys, you should still have
I
keys
have
to the
keys.
building too,
Yeah,
that work.
I have keys.
Because Link said they hadn't changed,
Yeah,
so,
So that's Friday, the 25th,
yeah,
Yep.
4
4.
o'clock.
that
4
we'd have a
o'clock.
tour,
Okay.
yeah?
does that work?
Yeah?
Yeah, because we
Excellent.
need to
Think
see
it
what we need for
Well, yeah, it'll give us a
idea of
feel,
tables
yeah,
and
and
what
we'll
they,
be able to open up the shed and see what's in the sheds,
Yeah.
what we have to work with.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good.
So then we have a meeting to schedule, actually.
Oh, yeah, for March.
I'm gonna post February 25th meeting. I have to post the February 28th meeting. 8th meeting. And then we need to meet after. So what would be a good day in March to meet?
Thursdays are still good. When did you say?
Yeah,
you went
Thursday
back?
at 5s are good, so
I'm leaving for a few weeks, so. I won't
first
be
or
back.
second week, and which works,
I mean,
which works good?
if we anticipate,
The second week in March, you'd still be here, it's March 10th, is a
Right.
Thursday, I think.
and that would be.
I'm leaving on the 9th.
Oh, well, then you're gone.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Don't, huh?
When are you coming back?
2 weeks after that.
Yeah, we gotta get it in before.
Yeah, don't worry about me.
The 10th or the 17th.
Let's do it on the 10th.
Okay,
That way, if we hear anything from, we can just keep moving forward,
and
and there'll be things to do. And if we walk through on the Friday, do a walkthrough on the Friday, the 25th, we meet the 28th, we might want to be talking on the 10th on the things we need to do to get the facility ready.
and also in anticipation of our second visit to the Board of Selectmen.
Do you think we'll need a second visit?
Yeah.
Larry? Oh, yeah.
I think so. What I was thinking is we have this meeting as a discussion of where we stand and all the points we're going, and then follow that up with a meeting to take action, vote to proceed or not. And that way it goes through 2 steps, but it's more comfortable. We can give through all the stuff we've done.
Mhm.
And then
And-
follow up with another meeting for,
Either March 7th, 14th, or 21st.
yeah, it's up to, it's up to you. I think, as I said, the only concern I have is the time available with the Board of Selectmen as we go through budget and warrant articles, because we have a period that's very busy until we get closer to town meeting. When things are done, then it slows down. Once the warrant is out, we become more relaxed.
Right.
So what dates of, do you have any idea of what the night?
Well, the
date
selectmen's meetings, they meet every Monday,
Yeah.
well,
Okay.
except for next Monday because it's a holiday, but normally on Mondays.
So do you want to meet before, it sounds like if we met the first week in March, that first Thursday, we'd be meeting before the selectmen would meet again to provide their determination, it seems. But that's okay.
Right, they can, yeah.
Yeah.
Larry
How
will
about
So
know.
you
meeting
want-
maybe March 3rd, our committee would meet? That's the first Thursday in
Yeah.
March.
In terms of the second selectmen's meeting, you guys need to decide, and I'll try to put it on. If I get pushback, then I'll get back to you.
So,
We asked to be on the 14th. If we meet on the 10th, and then we ask to be on the 14th.
okay, so let's do that. So let's meet on the 10th,
Okay.
March 10th.
So you guys are meeting March 10th, right?
Right.
I'll be going, okay.
Yeah.
And then you're going to try to get on the selectmen's,
So the next meeting we're gonna have is the 28th of February.
Yeah.
Right,
With the Board of
Then we're
Selectmen.
gonna have another meeting on March 10th.
right, and the only one that,
Walk
and
through
the,
on the 25th.
on the 25th, and the only meeting that you need to schedule downstairs is for the March 10th, because this room is already signed out on the 28th for the selectmen, and then I'll schedule a meeting at the same time, so, you know, we can deliberate if we need to at that, you know, since we're gonna have more than 4, and if we need to deliberate, I have to schedule a meeting for us for the 28th. So right now, I'm scheduling meetings for the 25th of February, the 28th of February, and March 10th.
so we only have 3 right now. but-
Right. And the selectmen meet at 6:30 on the 28th? Okay. 6:30.
So that's a selectmen's meeting, right?
Yeah, we're
Right.
going to go, yeah.
But I have to
But we're coming
do
to
ours
that?
concurrently,
Yes,
but I
that's
don't
what
have to
she's gonna
sign
do,
the
the
room
PowerPoint.
out,
Right,
Yeah,
because they already have it.
okay.
Yeah.
So really, I only have to sign this out for the 10th,
Right.
for right now.
There you
Okay,
go.
Gotcha.
Awesome.
and you guys can call me about the 10th meeting.
So great, we scheduled our next meeting dates, so all I need, if there are no further questions or discussion, is a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
So moved.
Time.
Okay, so I have a so moved by Ellie,
Oh, I love it.
and then a second by Rini.
We do it at 5:55 last time,
All those in
too.
favor?
Aye.
Aye, great.
And you think Caleb's very happy.